You are enough. It's time to close that door forever. Denzel, Washington. There comes a time when you've waited long enough, hoping for things to change, waiting for someone to see your worth, to treat you right. You've been through that revolving door, holding on, wondering if this time would be different. But let me tell you this. You don't need anyone to validate you. You don't need to keep letting someone drift in and out of your life like you're just an option, not a priority. Tonight, understand this truth. You are complete as you are. You don't need anyone else to define you or hold you back. Sometimes the greatest step forward is closing a door that no longer serves you. It's time to leave behind the weight of old patterns, of people who don't value you, of situations that drain your energy. This is about reclaiming your worth, your peace, and your future. You are enough. So take that step and close the door, forever. 1. Close the door on doubt. We often find ourselves deeply entangled in the histories we've shared with others, letting memories and fleeting good moments cloud our judgment. It's so easy to hold on to the highlights of those connections, convinced that they somehow justify enduring the darker parts of the relationship. Yet, as Marcus Aurelius wisely advised, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Simply having history with someone doesn't justify holding on to a situation that erodes your self-worth. Love, after all, doesn't mean continually compromising yourself, sacrificing your peace, or bending to keep another person comfortable, while your own needs remain unmet. It's natural to hope that time and love alone will heal the disappointments and disrespect. But the truth is, love doesn't equate to losing yourself, and time doesn't excuse mistreatment. Letting go, however, is one of the hardest decisions to face. The fear is very real. The fear that by leaving this relationship or situation, you'll be left with emptiness, that maybe this was as good as it could get, that your best days might already be behind you. This fear, though, is a clever illusion designed to keep you anchored in comfort rather than facing the unknown. Seneca once remarked, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This couldn't be more relevant here. That fear of losing what's familiar is just a story we tell ourselves to justify staying. But here's the truth, and I want you to hold it close. Staying in a place that doesn't value you, or where you feel small, isn't serving you, nor is it allowing you to realize your potential or deserving peace. There is an undeniable human need for connection and understanding. We all crave that feeling of being truly seen, of being understood on a profound level. So when we think we've found that even partially, the idea of letting it go seems nearly impossible. Yet ask yourself this: what kind of connection is it if it leaves you questioning your worth? If it eats away at your confidence? If it disrupts your peace? Is it truly the connection you've longed for? A genuine relationship doesn't wear you down or push you to question yourself at every turn. As Epictetus said, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. If a person truly values you, they won't constantly place you in a position to doubt yourself, your choices, or your value. They won't keep stretching your boundaries, making you feel less than, and causing you inner turmoil. When someone consistently crosses these lines and still expects you to stay, you have your answer. Their actions are speaking clearly. They aren't worthy of the love, effort, and time you're investing in them. Real love nurtures and uplifts. It doesn't pull you down. True love supports your growth and inspires you to be your best self. Look at the relationships in your life and assess honestly. Are they building you up or are they tearing you down? It's easy to let sentimentality and memories blur the lines, making us question what we deserve. But remember, holding on to what no longer serves you only prevents you from welcoming what truly aligns with you. When you're willing to close the door on something that doesn't bring you joy or respect, you make room for new possibilities and healthier connections. And yes, this step can be lonely, frightening even. But think of the inner strength and resilience you're fostering by choosing what's best for you. The Stoics remind us that we must guard our peace. This isn't selfishness, but rather self-respect. As you consider this, reflect on the quality of peace, freedom, and fulfillment that awaits you beyond that closed door. The courage it takes to move forward might be one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. The past holds lessons, but it doesn't dictate your future unless you let it. By letting go of what no longer aligns with who you're becoming, you embrace a version of yourself that's rooted in self-respect and growth. And in this journey, remember the Stoic wisdom that teaches us. The power lies not in what happens to us, but in how we choose to respond. You are enough just as you are. It's time to close the door on anything that tells you otherwise. Take that step boldly, and trust that by doing so you're walking toward a life of greater peace, strength, and authenticity. Two, forgiveness. You may be wondering, what about forgiveness? Aren't we supposed to forgive? Absolutely. Forgiveness is powerful. It's a path to personal freedom, an act that allows you to let go of anger and bitterness. But here's something vital. Forgiveness doesn't mean sacrificing yourself. Just because you forgive doesn't mean you have to open the door and invite that person back in to hurt you again. True forgiveness means setting down the weight of the hurt, releasing yourself from the resentment, and choosing to move forward. Forgiveness is for your own healing, not theirs, and sometimes the best path forward requires closing that door permanently. When you reach the point of having had enough, it's as if a veil lifts and suddenly you see everything for what it really is. The patterns emerge. The things you once brushed aside or justified now appear as the red flags they always were. You begin to recognize the little compromises you made to fit into their world, the parts of yourself you gave up for their comfort. Let me tell you, bending and twisting yourself for someone else isn't love. It's a quiet betrayal of your own needs and worth. It's losing yourself piece by piece, convincing yourself that making someone else happy is worth the price of your own peace. But love is never meant to cost you your identity or self-respect. That's not love. It's neglect. Plain and simple. I know this isn't easy. You've poured so much into this person, invested parts of yourself you can't get back. But sometimes, staying is like feeding coins into a broken machine, hoping that just one more will make it work. Deep down you know it's not going to give you anything in return. People reveal who they are by how they treat you, by how they hold space for your heart, your thoughts, and your dreams. If they constantly push you down, if they only take without giving, if they make you feel small or unworthy, that's not a person who deserves to remain in your life. The longer you stay in a situation like this, the harder it becomes to see a way out. You start losing touch with the person you were before, and sometimes you even start believing the things they tell you, that you're too much or not enough, that their hurtful behavior is somehow your fault. But the truth is, the reason you're feeling small is because they're taking up space that isn't theirs to take. They're crowding you, limiting you, holding you back from the life you're meant to live. So yes, if it helps you find peace, forgive them. But remember, forgiveness doesn't mean giving them another chance to hurt you. It doesn't mean reopening the door. Forgiveness is about releasing yourself, letting go of the anger and resentment so you can move forward freely. But it doesn't mean you have to let them stay in your life. Once you've truly seen the reality of what's been happening, you owe it to yourself to stop bending, to stop contorting yourself to fit into their expectations, and to reclaim your own peace, dignity, and joy. The longer you stay in a situation that drains you, the more you lose sight of what those feelings even look like. It's easy to forget that you're worthy of love that doesn't diminish you, respect that doesn't require compromise, and joy that doesn't come at the expense of your own well-being. Life is too short to keep living for someone who doesn't see your worth. So here's a question to ask yourself. If you were your own best friend, what would you tell yourself? Would you tell yourself to keep sacrificing your peace for someone who isn't willing to meet you halfway? Would you say it's worth giving up your happiness just to keep the peace? Or would you remind yourself that you're deserving of a love that lifts you, that respects you, and that doesn't ask you to break yourself to fit someone else's needs. This journey of closing the door isn't about becoming hard or bitter. It's about valuing yourself enough to walk away from what no longer serves you. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Choose thoughts that honor your worth, actions that align with your values, and relationships that support your growth. Letting go of what weighs you down opens the space for what truly enriches your life. Remember, forgiveness is for you, not them. And while you may forgive, you don't have to forget what they put you through. Forgive to set yourself free, but keep that door closed to protect the peace you've fought so hard to reclaim. You owe it to yourself to walk towards the life you deserve, a life where you don't have to sacrifice your happiness, dignity, or peace. Choose yourself, step by step, and trust that by closing one door, you're opening another, one filled with possibility, fulfillment, and the kind of love and respect you truly deserve. 3. Reclaim your worth. I want you to understand that walking away can be one of the most powerful decisions you ever make. It's not about giving up or admitting defeat. It's a statement to yourself, a declaration that you deserve better. Choosing to step away from what doesn't serve you or respect you is an act of self-respect, one that says your peace is worth more than any chaos someone else brings into your life. And yes, this can be incredibly hard to do, especially when doubt creeps in, when memories or fears make you question if you're doing the right thing. We all crave connection. We all want to feel seen and understood. But let's be clear. Connection without respect, kindness, or mutual understanding is not a connection worth clinging to. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best." If someone truly values you, they won't make you feel small or unworthy. If their actions continually hurt you, if they keep repeating the same patterns that cause you pain, that's all the answer you need. You don't have to keep expending energy trying to make them see your worth. You don't have to wait around, hoping they'll change, that they'll finally treat you with the respect you deserve. You don't have to twist yourself into something you're not, just to keep someone else comfortable. When you decide to close that door, when you choose to put yourself first, you'll feel a transformation begin. Slowly, but surely, you start to reclaim your power. You'll notice that bit by bit, you start to feel lighter, like a weight has been lifted. Why? Because you've removed the source of that heaviness, the person or situation that has been holding you back, making you question yourself, taking more from you than they ever give in return. Isn't it worth asking yourself, what would life look like if you let go of that burden? Making this choice isn't always easy, but difficult choices are often the ones that lead to the most growth. You might worry that closing the door on one chapter will leave you alone, or that the connection you're letting go of is the best you'll ever find. Yet, when you let go of what hurts you, you create space for new experiences and people who genuinely appreciate you. You make room for those who see your worth without you having to prove it, people who bring positivity, respect, and joy into your life. Letting go doesn't mean that you didn't care, that you didn't try, or that you didn't love deeply. But sometimes, as painful as it may be, love alone isn't enough. Love can't heal someone else's wounds, especially when those wounds spill over into your life, impacting your peace and well-being. So tonight, take a moment to reflect and ask yourself honestly, are you tired of the endless cycle of disappointment? Are you exhausted from questioning your worth, from feeling like you're never enough? There comes a point when you have to prioritize your own healing above all else. Marcus Aurelius, another great Stoic, reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This strength isn't about changing the people around you. It's about choosing what you will no longer accept, choosing what aligns with your true self, and walking away from what does not. Choosing yourself doesn't mean you're selfish. It means you're wise. Letting go can feel like you're losing something, but think about what you stand to gain: peace, clarity, the chance to rediscover yourself. Imagine being free from that weight, feeling lighter, and finally stepping into a life that aligns with your true values and your worth. You deserve to live without the pain, without the betrayal, without the constant need to prove yourself. And once you see that you are worthy of a life that fulfills you, there's no going back. 4. Reclaim your life. It's time to stop holding on to hopes that things will change, to let go of the belief that if you wait just a little longer, if you try just a little harder, things will be different. We all have moments when we find ourselves making excuses, rationalizing behaviors that bring us pain and ignoring our own needs, all because we're invested. But when you strip away the justifications and see things for what they are, you realize that your worth, your peace, and your happiness are worth far more than any pain or chaos someone else brings into your life. Letting go doesn't mean you're weak. In fact, it's one of the strongest choices you can make. Walking away is a powerful declaration, to yourself and to the world, that you deserve more. You deserve respect, you deserve peace, and you deserve to live a life that doesn't weigh you down with constant disappointment and hurt. When you close that door, when you decide to put yourself first, you're not losing anything. You're gaining back the most important part of you. Now, I understand that this isn't easy. We're wired for connection, for companionship. And when you've invested so much time, energy, and love, it's natural to hold on to the hope that things will change, that the person you care about will eventually become who you need them to be. It's tempting to believe that just one more chance might make all the difference. But as the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Real change doesn't come from your hope or your love, it comes from within them. True, lasting change is a decision only they can make for themselves, not because you asked, not because they feel guilty, but because they genuinely want to improve. And if they haven't shown that willingness by now, then it's time to accept that waiting longer won't change the outcome. Think about the energy you've spent, the late nights you've questioned yourself, the times you've waited for them to see your worth. Imagine if all that energy, all those hours, were poured back into yourself instead. Imagine waking up each day knowing you're investing in your own peace, in your own growth, without needing someone else to validate you. Life is too precious to spend it waiting for someone else to change. It's about having the courage to accept things as they truly are, not as we wish them to be. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." When you stop hoping for someone else to become what you need, you open the door to finding peace within yourself. It's painful to realize that the person you've invested so much in doesn't respect your boundaries or appreciate your worth. This realization can make you feel small, as though you're not enough, as though something is lacking in you. But here's the truth you need to hold close. You are enough. You've always been enough. You don't need to convince someone else to see your value. You don't need to keep bending yourself to make them comfortable. Holding on to someone who makes you question your worth is a quiet erosion of your self-respect over time, and in choosing to let go, you're not abandoning them. You're choosing to honor yourself. Every second you spend waiting for someone else to meet you halfway is time you're not living fully for yourself, not experiencing the freedom that comes with being true to who you are. Let me ask you this. How much more of your life are you willing to set aside, waiting for them to change? Think about the sacrifices you've already made, the dreams you've put on hold, the energy you've drained, the emotional toll you've endured, all for someone who isn't ready or willing to reciprocate. Now think about what life could look like if you redirected all of that energy, all of that focus, back toward yourself, toward the life you truly want to live. Imagine what might be possible if you finally let go. There's a unique freedom in making the decision to walk away, a lightness that comes when you remove the burden of unmet expectations. When you choose to close that door, you're not giving up on love. You're making room for the right kind of love, the kind that sees you for who you are and supports your growth. Yes, making this decision takes strength. It takes courage. But every step you take toward valuing yourself, every moment spent reclaiming your own peace, is a step toward the life you deserve. As you look ahead, remember that closing this door doesn't mean you'll never find meaningful connection. It simply means you're creating space for the people who will appreciate you, who won't make you question your worth. Seneca, another wise Stoic, once said, "As is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters." By choosing to let go, you're making a commitment to a life that feels good, a life that aligns with your values and respects who you are at your core. At the end of the day, this journey of letting go is about honoring yourself. It's about recognizing that you deserve a life free from the constant need to prove your worth. Ask yourself, what would it feel like to wake up each morning knowing that you've reclaimed your peace, that you're no longer carrying the weight of someone else's expectations or disappointments? What would it mean to you to live a life filled with respect, joy, and authentic connection? Because that life is within reach. It's not a distant dream. It's a choice you can make today by closing the door to anything and anyone that doesn't uplift you. So as you reflect on this, remember that letting go doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean you didn't care, and it certainly doesn't mean you didn't try. It simply means that you're ready to embrace your worth and to open the door to the life you truly deserve. When you make that choice, you're not just letting go of pain, you're making room for peace, for growth, for joy. And once you step through that door, once you choose to believe in your own worth, there's no going back. You are enough, and it's time to live like you believe it. Ready to take that step? Comment, "I choose myself," to mark this moment of change. Let's keep moving forward together. There's so much waiting for you beyond that closed door. 5. Choose respect. It's so easy to mistake love for obligation, to feel that if we just love someone enough, they'll finally become who we see they could be. But let's be real with each other here. Love, as powerful as it is, doesn't mean you're responsible for someone else's growth. It's not your job to mend wounds you didn't create, and it's not your job to sacrifice your own peace for the sake of someone else's potential. Love shouldn't be about losing yourself to save another. Too often we find ourselves giving everything, becoming someone's emotional anchor, their safety net. And the more we try to help, the more they lean on us, expecting us to be their strength, their reason, their excuse not to take responsibility. And that, my friend, is not love. That's weight. That's a burden you're carrying for someone else, a burden that was never yours to bear in the first place. Love should be appreciated. It should inspire growth, not turn into a lifeline someone uses to stay exactly the same. I know it's hard, but closing that door doesn't mean you're being cold or that you don't care. In fact, you can care deeply and still decide that stepping away is the best choice. Putting yourself first doesn't make you selfish. It makes you respectful. Respectful of your own time, your own energy, and the person you've become. The strength it takes to say, "I've done enough," to decide that you're done sacrificing your peace for someone who won't meet you halfway, is a kind of respect for yourself that maybe you've never known before. And it's not easy. In fact, it's often one of the hardest choices you'll face. You've invested time, energy, love, all the things that make you who you are. But sometimes, honoring who you are means choosing to walk away, and in that choice, you're giving yourself the gift of peace, the gift of freedom. We all have a limited amount of time on this earth. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." Life is too short to keep pouring yourself into people who don't see you, who don't honor the light you bring. When you leave that door open to someone who continuously brings you pain, who fails to see your value, you're letting little pieces of yourself slip away. Over time, this drains you, makes you question your worth, makes you forget that you too deserve to be cared for and valued. Holding on to that pain, keeping that door open, slowly dims your shine, the part of you that knows your own worth. But closing that door? That's where real freedom begins. When you finally decide enough is enough, you're not just letting go of a person who hurt you. You're making room for someone who will truly see you, someone who will respect you, who won't take advantage of your kindness, your loyalty, your love. Imagine what it would feel like to be with people who honor you, who don't leave you questioning your worth. The moment you decide that you deserve more, you're paving the way for relationships that don't drain you, but rather inspire you. And yes, I won't pretend it's simple. I'm not here to tell you that letting go is easy. It's not. Sometimes the hardest thing you'll ever do is let go of someone you've become accustomed to, someone who has been a part of your life, who once felt like home. It's natural to miss that comfort, to wonder if maybe you're giving up too soon. But think about this. What are you really holding on to? Are you holding on to them? Or are you holding on to the hope that they'll change, that they'll one day see your worth? When you take that step, when you close that door, you're choosing a life that's aligned with your own values, with the respect you have for yourself. You're opening yourself up to people who will see you, who won't make you question your worth, who will recognize and cherish the light within you. The act of walking away, of saying, "I deserve more than this," is one of the most courageous things you'll ever do. And in that moment, you're choosing to honor the most important person in your life, you. You're choosing to protect your peace, to value your happiness, to give yourself the life you truly deserve. So let me ask you, have you reached the point where you're ready to put yourself first? Are you willing to let go of the weight, to reclaim the parts of yourself that have been lost along the way? Because if you are, I promise, there's something beautiful waiting for you on the other side. It won't always be easy, and yes, there may be moments of loneliness, but remember that every step you take toward choosing yourself is a step toward a life filled with peace, respect, and genuine connection. Closing that door doesn't mean giving up. It means believing in your own worth enough to seek what truly serves you. When you're brave enough to say, "I deserve more," you're setting a standard for how you want to be treated, for the kind of life you want to live. And that decision, that's not just powerful, it's transformative. It's a decision that says you're ready for a life free from constant pain, disappointment, and self-doubt. And once you make that choice, once you take that step, you'll find that you're not just walking away from something that hurt you. You're walking toward the respect, peace, and love that you've always deserved. 6. Step forward. When you open yourself to people and experiences that elevate you, you begin to rise naturally to a higher level of joy, respect, and love, because that's exactly what you deserve. Think of everything you've already gone through, all the times you've shown up even when it cost you. You've given, you've tried, you've waited, and you've forgiven more times than most people ever would. You stayed when it was hard, and you found ways to make things work even when the weight felt unbearable. But at some point you have to pause and look in the mirror, asking yourself a question that holds a profound answer. Do I deserve better than this? There's a moment when the hope you've been holding on to, hope that they'll change, that things will somehow become better, shifts to the realization that you're worthy of more than just empty promises and fleeting moments. You deserve consistency, you deserve respect, and you deserve genuine love that doesn't leave you questioning your worth. The energy you invest in trying to mend, fix, or sustain something that isn't working is priceless. It's your life force, your essence. Every time you give that energy to someone who doesn't honor it, you're taking away from what you could be pouring back into yourself. Imagine the strength you could cultivate, the dreams you could bring to life, the peace you could feel if you redirected that energy toward your own growth. Think of the relationships you could foster, the experiences you could create, the goals you could achieve if you decided to invest all that energy in yourself. Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." So, what would happen if your thoughts were no longer clouded by the pain of unmet expectations? What would happen if you allowed yourself to believe that you're worth more? The truth is, some people may never change, and that's okay. It's not on you to shape someone else's journey or to become small just to make them comfortable. Just because someone else isn't willing to grow doesn't mean you have to stay stagnant alongside them. You have a unique purpose, a path that's meant just for you. And if someone cannot or will not rise to meet you on that path, then they may not belong there. You are not responsible for molding someone into what they're unwilling to become, and you don't owe anyone a seat at your table if they don't respect the space they've been given. As Epictetus once put it, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. I understand letting go feels like giving up, but letting go isn't defeat. It's actually an act of courage, a bold move to reclaim your life, to create space for something better. It's giving yourself permission to find friendships, love, and connections that truly add value, that bring you joy and peace. Yes, it will take strength, resilience, and faith in yourself, but every step you take away from what doesn't serve you is a step closer to what truly belongs in your life. And here's something beautiful. When you finally close that door and let go of what's holding you back, your energy begins to shift. People around you notice the change, the way you walk, the way you talk, the confidence that starts to emanate from within you. This shift is magnetic. It attracts people who are on the same wavelength, people who will meet you at your level, who respect and value what you bring to the table. It's like holding up a beacon that says, "I am worth more," and those who truly see your worth are drawn to that light. Remember, you only have one life, and every moment spent with someone who doesn't value you is a moment you can't get back. It's a moment taken away from the joy, peace, and freedom that could be yours. Once you accept this truth, you'll feel the strength needed to let go of what's weighing you down. You'll feel the courage to close that door and never look back. The Stoic Seneca once remarked, "As is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters." Your life shouldn't be a story of sacrifice after sacrifice for people who don't appreciate you. It should be a story of growth, respect, and a love that fuels you rather than drains you. We often underestimate our own worth, settling for less because we fear that's all there is. But life is so much more abundant than we realize. There's a world full of opportunities, full of people who will cherish, respect, and uplift you. But you'll never discover that world if you keep holding on to what's holding you back. Letting go is an act of self-respect. It's saying, "I deserve more than this." It's an affirmation of your worth, a declaration of your value. And once you decide to let go, once you truly close that door, you'll feel a weight lift, a freedom and lightness that will surprise you. You'll look back and wonder why you didn't choose yourself sooner. So stop trying to save people who don't want to be saved. Stop sacrificing your peace just to make someone else comfortable. Stop putting yourself last for the sake of someone else's happiness. You are worth so much more. You deserve to be with people who truly see you, who value you, and who would never make you feel less than. And if you're wondering, but what if I end up alone? I want to reassure you, choosing yourself isn't loneliness, it's liberation. When you close that door, you're opening a new one to a life that aligns with who you are, that respects what you bring to the world, and that allows you to grow, flourish, and be at peace. Yes, it's difficult. Yes, it's scary. But believe that there is more for you out there. Believe that closing that door isn't the end, but the beginning of a life that honors your worth and respects what you offer. Trust that there's a brighter path ahead, filled with relationships, experiences, and opportunities that will uplift and enrich you. The only way to reach that place is to take the step, to close that door, to finally let go of what has been holding you back. And as you move forward, remember that you're not just walking away from pain. You're walking toward a life that's truly your own, a life that's waiting for the best of you. 7. Close the door on what holds you back. When you open yourself to people and experiences that elevate you, you begin to rise naturally to a higher level of joy, respect, and love, because that's exactly what you deserve. Think of everything you've already gone through, all the times you've shown up, even when it cost you. You've given, you've tried, you've waited, and you've forgiven more times than most people ever would. You stayed when it was hard, and you found ways to make things work even when the weight felt unbearable. But at some point you have to pause and look in the mirror, asking yourself a question that holds a profound answer. Do I deserve better than this? There's a moment when the hope you've been holding on to, hope that they'll change, that things will somehow become better, shifts to the realization that you're worthy of more than just empty promises and fleeting moments. You deserve consistency, you deserve respect, and you deserve genuine love that doesn't leave you questioning your worth. Imagine it this way. The energy you invest in trying to mend, fix, or sustain something that isn't working is priceless. It's your life force, your essence. Every time you give that energy to someone who doesn't honor it, you're taking away from what you could be pouring back into yourself. Imagine the strength you could cultivate, the dreams you could bring to life, the peace you could feel if you redirected that energy toward your own growth. Think of the relationships you could foster, the experiences you could create, the goals you could achieve if you decided to invest all that energy in yourself. Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." So, what would happen if your thoughts were no longer clouded by the pain of unmet expectations? What would happen if you allowed yourself to believe that you're worth more? The truth is, some people may never change, and that's okay. It's not on you to shape someone else's journey or to become small just to make them comfortable. Just because someone else isn't willing to grow doesn't mean you have to stay stagnant alongside them. You have a unique purpose, a path that's meant just for you, and if someone cannot or will not rise to meet you on that path, then they may not belong there. You are not responsible for molding someone into what they're unwilling to become, and you don't owe anyone a seat at your table if they don't respect the space they've been given. As Epictetus once put it, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. I understand letting go feels like giving up, but letting go isn't defeat. It's actually an act of courage, a bold move to reclaim your life, to create space for something better. It's giving yourself permission to find friendships, love, and connections that truly add value, that bring you joy and peace. Yes, it will take strength, resilience, and faith in yourself, but every step you take away from what doesn't serve you is a step closer to what truly belongs in your life. And here's something beautiful. When you finally close that door and let go of what's holding you back, your energy begins to shift. People around you notice the change, the way you walk, the way you talk, the confidence that starts to emanate from within you. This shift is magnetic. It attracts people who are on the same wavelength, people who will meet you at your level, who respect and value what you bring to the table. It's like holding up a beacon that says, "I am worth more," and those who truly see your worth are drawn to that light. Remember, you only have one life, and every moment spent with someone who doesn't value you is a moment you can't get back. It's a moment taken away from the joy, peace, and freedom that could be yours. Once you accept this truth, you'll feel the strength needed to let go of what's weighing you down. You'll feel the courage to close that door and never look back. The Stoic Seneca once remarked, "As is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters." Your life shouldn't be a story of sacrifice after sacrifice for people who don't appreciate you. It should be a story of growth, respect, and a love that fuels you rather than drains you. We often underestimate our own worth, settling for less because we fear that's all there is. But life is so much more abundant than we realize. There's a world full of opportunities, full of people who will cherish, respect, and uplift you. But you'll never discover that world if you keep holding on to what's holding you back. Letting go is an act of self-respect. It's saying, "I deserve more than this." It's an affirmation of your worth, a declaration of your value. And once you decide to let go, once you truly close that door, you'll feel a weight lift, a freedom and lightness that will surprise you. You'll look back and wonder why you didn't choose yourself sooner. So stop trying to save people who don't want to be saved. Stop sacrificing your peace just to make someone else comfortable. Stop putting yourself last for the sake of someone else's happiness. You are worth so much more. You deserve to be with people who truly see you, who value you, and who would never make you feel less than. And if you're wondering, but what if I end up alone? I want to reassure you, choosing yourself isn't loneliness, it's liberation. When you close that door, you're opening a new one to a life that aligns with who you are, that respects what you bring to the world, and that allows you to grow, flourish, and be at peace. Yes, it's difficult. Yes, it's scary. But believe that there is more for you out there. Believe that closing that door isn't the end, but the beginning of a life that honors your worth and respects what you offer. Trust that there's a brighter path ahead, filled with relationships, experiences, and opportunities that will uplift and enrich you. The only way to reach that place is to take the step, to close that door, to finally let go of what has been holding you back. And as you move forward, remember that you're not just walking away from pain. You're walking toward a life that's truly your own, a life that's waiting for the best of you. 8. Step into the life you deserve. Believe in yourself enough to walk away from the things that hurt you. Trust yourself enough to close that door and never look back, knowing that by doing so, you're stepping into a life that honors who you are, a life filled with love, respect, and peace. And let me tell you that life is worth everything. I understand how hard it is to walk away. I know it feels like you're leaving behind a part of yourself, a part you thought you needed, a piece you've carried for so long that it feels embedded in who you are. It's painful to let go of someone you cared about, someone you once believed would be part of your journey. But sometimes, the things that hurt the most are the very things that are necessary for our growth. Real growth doesn't happen without discomfort, and healing can't begin until you're willing to let go of what's been weighing you down. Walking away isn't failure, it's learning. It's recognizing that you deserve kindness, respect, and love, and that starts with seeing your own worth clearly. You might feel like you needed them. You may think that life without them is too difficult, that they are essential to your happiness. But remember who you are. Remember the strength that has carried you through storms, the resilience that has kept you standing when others would have fallen. You've been through trials that could have broken you, but you survived. You're still here, standing tall, ready to take back control of your life, ready to rise. You don't need someone who doesn't see your worth or respect you. You're enough, more than enough, exactly as you are. It's time to believe that fully. So make the choice today to close that door. Protect your peace. Honor the worth you've overlooked for too long. Start putting yourself first, because you deserve to. It's time to break free from anything and anyone who holds you back, weighs you down, or makes you question who you are. Reclaim your joy, your power, your life, because it's yours to live. You deserve to wake up with a heart at peace and a mind free from doubt. You deserve to surround yourself with people who lift you up, who see your light, and who bring out the best in you. Once you close that door, don't look back. Don't second-guess yourself. Don't let them manipulate or guilt you into reopening that door. Stand firm in your choice, and remember why you walked away. Remember the hurt, the disappointment, those long nights spent questioning yourself, wondering if you'd ever be enough for them. Remember the weight that lifted when you finally let go. Hold on to that feeling of relief because it's your heart's way of telling you that you made the right decision. Moving forward doesn't mean forgetting the past. It means understanding where you no longer belong. Now is the time to focus on your growth, your healing, your happiness. There's a whole world out there waiting for you, one filled with opportunities you haven't seen yet and people who will recognize and cherish you for who you truly are. But to step into that future, you have to make a choice. You have to release what no longer serves you so you can step confidently into what lies ahead. Close that door and trust that what's coming is better than what's gone. Life has a way of testing us, of revealing what we need to see, even when it's not what we want to see. That door may have been open for a long time, maybe too long, but sometimes what feels like loyalty is really just fear of change, fear of the unknown. You're stronger than that. This moment is here for a reason. It's your time to make a choice, to stand up for yourself, to honor yourself in a way that perhaps you never have before. You're worth more than settling, more than bending over backward for someone who wouldn't take a single step for you. Don't look back, because what's back there isn't meant for your future. Trust that letting go is a step towards something far greater. The world is full of people who will see you, who will value you, who will lift you higher. But you won't find them if you keep holding on to what's bringing you down, if you keep revisiting doors that were never meant to stay open. This is your life, your path, and it's time to walk it without looking back. Closing that door doesn't mean that you didn't care or that the love you gave wasn't real. It was real, and it mattered. But not everything real is meant to last forever. Some people, some situations, are here to teach us, to shape us, to help us grow, and then to leave us. And that's okay. That's the nature of life. You can carry the lessons, the memories, and the good moments with you, but don't let them keep you stuck in the past. Don't let them prevent you from embracing the future waiting for you. It's time to make peace with what was. Give yourself the freedom to move forward without carrying the weight of yesterday on your shoulders. Life has so much more in store for you, but you won't discover it if you're still holding on to what's behind you. So take a deep breath, close that door, and walk confidently toward the life you deserve. A life where you are valued, respected, and loved in the way you've always wanted and deserved. You are enough, just as you are. And it's time to live like you believe it. If this message resonated with you, let us know by typing "closing the door, opening new paths" in the comments. This is your time to step forward, and we're here to support you every step of the way. 9. Embrace your worth. Trust yourself deeply and trust the path you're on, even if it feels uncertain. Life has a way of guiding you where you're meant to be, but it requires faith in your own worth and your own journey. When you honor yourself, when you protect your peace and truly recognize your value, you set a standard for how others should treat you. You're saying to the world, "I know what I'm worth, and I won't accept anything less." This is a powerful message, not just to others, but to yourself. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Every time you choose to respect yourself, to hold firm in your worth, you're reinforcing that belief within yourself. Right now, this moment is a turning point. It's where you reclaim your life, where you gather the strength to take back control and step fully into the person you are. Once you make the choice to close that door on what no longer serves you, do it with conviction. There's no need to apologize, no need to explain. Stand firm and be proud, because this decision isn't just about leaving something behind. It's about building the life you truly deserve. This choice is the foundation for everything that follows. A future grounded in respect, filled with joy, and marked by a peace that only comes when you're living in alignment with your true self. It's time to let go of the urge to keep certain doors open, just in case or out of habit. Let go of the need to explain yourself, to make them understand, to show them your side. Sometimes, no matter how much you explain or try to be understood, some people just won't see things from your perspective, and that's okay. Your purpose isn't to make everyone understand. Your purpose is to live a life that brings you peace, pride, and joy. And that can only happen when you're willing to walk away from situations, relationships, and dynamics that drain you instead of filling you. Walking away doesn't mean you're abandoning love, loyalty, or goodness. Rather, you're leaving behind pain, disrespect, and a lack of appreciation. You're choosing to move beyond circumstances that made you question yourself, that caused you to doubt your worth, or that shrank the light inside you. By choosing to walk away, you're choosing yourself, choosing to put yourself first, to honor the life you're meant to live. This isn't selfish. It's necessary. As you make this choice, consider what life could look like if you embraced it fully. Ask yourself, what would my life feel like if I only kept doors open that served me? How much lighter would I feel without carrying the weight of others' expectations or the need for their approval? This journey is yours alone, and closing certain doors doesn't mean failure. It means wisdom. Seneca reminds us, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare, but because we do not dare, they are difficult." Dare to choose yourself. Trust that by closing this door, you're clearing space for something beautiful, something aligned with your purpose and your peace. In walking away, you're not just letting go of the past, you're opening yourself up to a future that values, respects, and uplifts you. As you close that door and embrace your worth, remember that this choice is about creating space for a life that truly reflects who you are. Every day, take small steps to reinforce this decision, reminding yourself that you are enough, just as you are. Let each choice, each relationship, and each moment reflect this powerful truth. Now here's a question for you. What's one thing you can do today to honor your worth and move forward? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. And if this message resonated, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Stoic in Your Life for more content on building strength, peace, and resilience. Remember, this is your journey, and every step you take brings you closer to the life you deserve.